La música está de fiesta. Celebremos los 20 años del Panama Jazz Festival con la participación estelar de Chucho Valdés, Catherine Russell, Danilo Pérez, John Patitucci y Brian Blade, Erika Ender y el ensamble Global Jazz Womex. Clínicas, conciertos, el 11º Simposio de Musicoterapia, la noche de gala y el gran cierre con Gilberto Santa Rosa del 16 al 21 de enero en Ciudad de Panamá. Boletos de venta en panamajazzfestival.com a beneficio de la Fundación Danilo Pérez. Produce, patrocinan, invitan.
And we would play a little song for you, and then we can break down our process and start talking about the music and all the kind of questions that you all might have. So think of questions along the way while you're listening to us play and talking. If you have ideas, don't hesitate to raise your hand and let us know if you have anything to say. Shorter, right?
Yeah, please.
Okay, just let them know that anytime if they have any questions.
En cualquier momento, para cualquier pregunta, nos dejan saber.
Yes. So my name is Chase. I'm from San Diego, California.
Mi nombre es Chase, son de San Diego, California.
But now I live in Boston, and I'm a teacher. I teach at Berklee College of Music, and I perform with musicians and friends in that area.
Ahora estoy viviendo en Boston y enseño en el Berklee College of Music.
I grew up playing jazz and classical piano.
Crecí tocando jazz y piano clásico.
And nowadays, some of my favorite things to do is to collaborate with other musicians who come from different backgrounds, things outside of jazz and classical music.
Y hoy en día me gusta tocar con músicos cruciales que vienen de diferentes trasfondos, como, can you repeat the last part?
Outside of jazz and classical music.
Jazz y música clásica.
And what I've found is that the improvisation and the spirit of the jazz tradition has incredible tools and connecting power for you to be able to collaborate with anyone throughout the entire world.
Creo bastante interesante que hay diversas herramientas y que podemos encontrar al colaborar con otros músicos a crear música.
So today we're going to talk about how we come from different backgrounds and how we met in Boston and were able to found sounds as a trio together.
Y hoy hablaremos de cómo que músicos de diferentes trasfondos venimos y nos reunimos para crear música y crear un propio sonido.
So I'll go ahead and let Nassim introduce himself.
Does it reach? Okay, hi everyone.
Hola a todos.
Hi, hola. My name is Nassim Al-Atrash.
Su nombre es Nassim Atrash.
I am originally from Bethlehem, Palestine.
Originario de Betlem, Palestina.
Belén.
Belém.
Yes, right.
Okay.
But like Chase, I also been living in the U.S. For the past 12 years.
Al igual que Chase, estuve viviendo en Estados Unidos durante los últimos 12 años.
I was a student at Berklee College of Music, and now I teach at Berklee College of Music.
Fue estudiante en el Berklee College of Music y ahora enseña ahí también.
I also I'm a composer.
También soy compositor.
I play with this trio as well as the Danilo Perez Global Messengers.
Tocó con este grupo al igual que con el Danilo Pérez.
Global Messengers. You can
Okay.
you can maybe do. And also play with a string quartet called the Turtle Island String Quartet.
Y también toca con el trío de cuerdas String Island.
My goal for the cello has always been bringing together the tradition of classical Arabic music.
Tocando el cello es la forma en que experimento la música clásica arábica.
And see how that music can connect to jazz and classical Western music.
Y cómo puedo conectarlo con el jazz y música del Medio Oriente.
And this trio is a great example of how these three traditions or three styles come together.
Y este trío es un gran ejemplo de cómo estos tres estilos pueden unirse.
Great, yeah, I think now I will give the mic to George.
Y ahora le vamos a dar el micrófono a Josh.
Wait, I know you should come here. All right. Take over.
Hi, everybody. My name is George. I'm originally from Cyprus.
Originario de Chipre.
I am a percussionist. I grew up in the Middle East with the traditions from my country.
Es percusionista y toca música tradicionaria de su país.
Later on in my life, I got interested in jazz. Actually, early in my life, it was when I was 15, I got interested in jazz, and then I decided to go study at the Berklee College of Music.
Fue más adelante en su vida que tuvo intereses en el jazz y también más adelante pudo entrar a estudiar en Berklee College of Music.
Right now, I live in the United States, and what I like to do is cross bridges. I like to take the traditional music from my country and the Mediterranean, Middle Eastern regions and combine my knowledge for both Middle Eastern music and jazz together with the means of composition or performing or improvising, all of that together.
Ahora en este grupo me gusta mezclar música de Estados Unidos y música de Mediterránea y del Medio Oriente y crear nuevos estilos con todos estos tipos de música.
Yeah, I think that's enough. We can play some music now.
Y ahora vamos a tocar un poco de música.
This song is called Flying, and it is dedicated to our mentor, our friend, Danilo Perez.
La canción se llama Flying, dedicado a su mentor, Danilo Pérez.
Thank you, gracias. So we're going to talk about our process, how that music came to be, and hopefully give some insight through our process, things that you can do with your own music.
Vamos a hablar de cómo esto se está creando y los más adentro de la creación de esta música.
First of all, are there any questions? to
¿Hay
begin
alguna
with?
pregunta?
Okay, Lucas.
You can ask us that.
My first question is, as you're playing, what are you listening to? What are you thinking about as all that's happening?
La pregunta fue, mientras tocaban, ¿qué es lo que escuchaban, en lo que pensaban, mientras tocaban?
Okay, I think that will be answered as we break down the music a little bit and we talk about how it came to be. We'll talk about that.
Eso lo responderemos en la forma en cómo esta música se va creando y cómo se forma.
So the beginning of this piece, the very first idea came from a actually particular scale.
La principal parte de esta canción vino de una escala en particular.
And it was actually a Greek scale that a friend showed me, but I learned that actually it is a scale also in Makam.
Okay, es una escala griega que un amigo le enseñó, pero que también una escala que él aprendió por su cuenta.
And this is how it goes. Will everyone sing with me? Yeah?
¿Quieren cantar conmigo?
Okay. So here it is. Ooh, yeah, we have some nice voices. And then back down. Yes. Can you talk a little bit about what that's called and how you approach it to begin with?
We have the same mode in Arabic music,
Tenemos el mismo modo que en la música arábica.
and it's called Nawa Athar.
Es llamado
Nawa.
Nawa
Very good. Athar.
Athar.
Everyone say.
Nawa.
Nawa Athar.
And the name refers to this sound. When you have like it's like a minor scale, but you have sharp fourth. Are you all musicians?
Se refiere a cuando es el sonido de una escala menor pero una cuarta sostenida o aumentada.
So it's like a minor with a sharp fourth,
Escala menor y la cuarta sostenida.
and then from the fifth degree, there's a maqam or tetrachord we call hijaz, which sounds like this. Flat two, major third. So if you combine this and then the dominant, you have this. It gives you the maqam nawatha.
A partir del quinto grado, al siguiente tetracordio, tiene la tercera menor.
Yes. And this maqam is from the Nahawand. It's called Nahawand family.
Este sonido viene del Nahawand, de la familia Nahawand.
And Nahawand is like the minor scale, but for Arabic music, like minor. So it's from the same family as the Nahawand, which is like a natural minor scale.
Proviene de la escala menor de la música arábica, entonces sería como la escala arábica natural de la música, de la escala menor natural de la música arábica.
The only thing you have to know that is different is that in Arabic music and Greek music too, in a maqam, which is the mode, it's not only a group of notes, but there's also specific ornamentation and melodies or phrases that come with each of these modes.
La particularidad de este modo es que no solamente es la secuencia de las notas, sino también las ornamentaciones en la escala y en la música.
So each mode has a personality and what we call sayr, which is it has a it has a direction or a certain movement, not only group of notes like you can think of it as a scale.
Cada modo tiene una personalidad y un camino hacia donde va. Entonces, no solamente es una secuencia de notas, sino también un movimiento al que se dirige cada sonido.
So, so when I first started playing with Nassim,
La primera vez que empecé a tocar con Nassim,
I heard all these beautiful sounds, new sounds that I hadn't heard before.
escuché todos estos nuevos, bellos sonidos que no había escuchado antes.
And I had to find new ways of playing the piano
Y
to play with Nassim.
Y encontré nuevas formas de tocar el piano para tocar con Nassim.
So the first thing was listening really deeply.
La primera cosa es escuchar muy profundamente.
So let's listen for a moment all together to Nassim play the way he might play on this mode. Could you just play like a 30 seconds or so?
Escuchemos bien atentamente mientras Nassim está tocando.
Wow, beautiful, right?
Hermoso, ¿verdad?
So what are some things that you notice?
¿Cuáles son las cosas de las que se dieron cuenta? Pueden hacer la mano.
Okay, people are too shy. I'll tell you what I notice and tell me if you agree.
Les voy a contar de qué me di cuenta y me dirán si están de acuerdo.
So the number one thing, right? I already figured out the notes. Okay, we're on the same page with the notes.
La
But
primera cosa que me di cuenta fueron que ya me di cuenta de las notas.
But the way you play those notes,
Pero la forma en que se tocan esas notas.
all the little details, the ornaments that make it so beautiful,
Todos los pequeños detalles y ornamentos que la hacen muy hermoso.
they're very unique, right?
Son bastante únicos, ¿cierto?
See? So one thing that's easy to do is to play in a way that hides those things. That I can easily play a chord on the piano that masks them, that you can't hear those beautiful ornaments anymore.
Puedo tocar varias cosas que podrían esconder lo que él está tocando. Algunos acordes que podrían taparlo, lo que está tocando.
And that's the number one thing. When I'm thinking about trying to make sounds with other people in a band, I'm trying to make them sound good.
Una cosa principal al tocar en una banda con otras personas es hacerlos a los demás sonar bastante bien.
So that means not just listening to me and for what I should do, but listening for how to make them sound the highest they can sound.
No se trata de yo tocar bien, sino que la otra persona se escuche cuando estoy tocando con él.
So here's an example of how I might get in the way, how I might not be listening to Nassim and might get in the way of the beautiful things he's doing.
Les enseñaré un ejemplo en cómo yo estaría tocando encima de él y no dejar que se escuche lo que toca Nassim.
I can't play like that.
Right? You couldn't hear Nassim at all.
No pudieron escuchar a Nassim.
Why?
¿Por qué?
Okay, too loud.
Muy
That's one.
fuerte.
Someone said too loud, right? Okay, I'll play softer.
Va a tocar más suave.
it better or still a problem?
¿Estaba mejor o hay problemas todavía?
Aha, exactly. So it's not just how loud it is, maybe more space, right? Also, is there another thing? Aha, sustain, right? So that has to do with space too. Because when you use a lot of the pedal and all these notes are happening, right? They keep on going and that gets in the way of the details.
Bueno, no solamente se trata de qué tan fuerte tocas, sino el espacio que le dejas al otro instrumento. Cuando tocas con el pedal, las notas siguen sonando y igual sigue tapando lo que estás tocando.
Yes. So let's do examples of each one of these. Okay. So let's say I want to play loud still, but I want him to be able to be heard, right? Let's say if I don't use the pedal at all. Let's see if you can hear him now.
Vamos a hacer el ejemplo de cada cosa. Ahora vamos a tocar algo fuerte, pero sin usar el pedal.
Okay, a little silly, right? But you could hear it, right?
Fue algo tonto, pero igual pudieron escucharlo, ¿verdad?
And I was playing loud,
Y estaba tocando fuerte.
you see. Here's another example. Now I'll play quiet, right? I'll use the sustain, but here's the thing that no one mentioned yet. Register.
Voy a tocar más suave y ahora sí voy a usar el pedal, pero vamos a implementar una cosa más que nadie había mencionado, que es el registro o el rango.
When you're playing with other people, very often you want to be in a different register than someone so that they can take that particular place, low, mid-low, and I will play high in a different place, and that way I don't get in the way of his notes.
Una cosa usual que se preferiría al tocar con otras personas es no tocar en el rango en que toca esa persona. Por ejemplo, si está en un rango más bajo, moverme en una posición más alta o viceversa para que esa persona se pueda escuchar a lo que está haciendo.
Wow, another type of playing, right?
Otra forma de tocar, ¿verdad?
So these are all choices that we can make when we're writing a song and when we're writing a song on the spot, which is called improvisation.
Estas son las elecciones que podemos tomar al momento de escribir una canción o cuando estamos improvisando
Or arranging a song that you already know.
o arreglando una canción que ya conocen.
So for example, going back to the beginning piece we played, there's a section where Nassim is soloing on that maqam.
Volviendo al inicio de la primera canción, hay una sección en la que Nassim hace un solo.
And do you remember what I was doing in the piano during that part?
¿Recuerdan lo que hacía en el piano en esa parte?
We'll show you.
Les van a mostrar.
So I was doing both. I was doing loud notes in the bottom, but very short. No pedal, leaving lots of space for you to hear the notes. And in the right hand, using high sustained chords at the same time.
Pudieron oír que hacía ambas cosas, tocaba fuerte en la parte más grave, con notas cortas y sin el pedal, y en la mano derecha usaba notas más altas, adornando con acordes lo que estaban tocando.
Any questions about all of that?
¿Alguna pregunta por esto?
Does it make sense?
¿Hace sentido?
Good. Listen for that in all the music that you love, that you think is really amazing. You're going to hear that happening already.
Cuando escuchen la música que les gusta, que les encanta, se van a dar cuenta que eso también sucede en la música.
But sometimes it's easy to forget that when we're playing with the band ourselves and we're trying to remember the song and all these things, and we forget to listen carefully to the other person and find a part that balances, that makes them sound good.
Se vuelve más sencillo olvidarlo cuando estamos tocando por nuestra cuenta, escuchar a los demás que están tocando y que lo que están haciendo tenga sentido.
Great. Okay, should we talk about some rhythm?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do you want to talk about this piece or do you want to talk about another one? Okay, you want to talk about your rhythmic approach to this?
Sure.
With the instrument? Okay, let's
Sure.
do that.
So I can sit here, you can hear me, right? Yeah. All right,
¿Pueden
great.
escuchar?
I'll talk loud. So for this particular piece, one thing in general I want to mention about this trio that I like to do is, first of all, as you can see, we have no bass.
Una cosa en particular que me gusta de esta pieza, en este trío, es que no tenemos un bajo.
So because of that, I like with Nassim between the two of us to work in a way so one of us at each point have the role of the timekeeper or like setting up a carpet so that the rest can float on. So sometimes I like to be the timekeeper. I play like a solid groove and let Nassim go out. I'll continue.
Una cosa que hago con Nassim es que al tocar nos decidimos entre cada uno de los dos quién podría ser la base que mantiene el ritmo para hacer una alfombra, una base en la que los demás puedan flotar.
And another example is like if Nassim is holding like sort of like an ostinato, let's call it a bass line, even though it's a cello, I might be a little more interactive with Chase. If Chase plays an idea, then I hear some space, I'll go, you know, I'll fill that space.
Otro ejemplo es que cuando Nassim está haciendo la parte del bajo, aunque es un cello, interactúa con Chase para llenar los espacios y así complementar la melodía.
Yeah, let's do an example of that. Maybe
Let's do two where one that you hold it down and Nassim plays on top, and then the opposite.
sure, you want to do B sections, that's a nice example, or you want to do like the solo section
Let's do
Flying?
for flying, yeah.
let's do this part.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the example. Whoa,
Whoa.
Un, dos.
too dark. We need more light in the world. So let's start with you holding it down.
Yeah, I'll hold it down. Okay, here we go. So yeah, this example is me holding down the rhythm and Nassim being more free.
Esta es una parte donde está manteniendo el ritmo y Nassim va a ser algo más libre.
I'll count three. 1, 2, 3. So for this, all I'm doing basically is just holding down the big three. So this song, you know, as you can hear, we're playing like a big three over like a small 6/8, right? So we're kind of opening. So I'm just holding down the three big beats. 1, 2, 3. And then that gives absolute freedom to the scene. There's no way you can get lost with that.
En esta parte de la canción está tocando, subdividiendo, contando a 3, para que así no haya pérdida en el ritmo.
Yeah. So another example, I'm a little more free. Nassim holds it down for me.
Y ahora en otro ejemplo, Nación lo hace, mantiene el ritmo y la percusión va más libre.
You see, I can hear it in going to boody, boody, boody. I can noise, you know, I can do whatever I want.
Puedo escuchar lo que hace el cello y puedo hacer cualquier cosa que quiera.
So, what George is talking about.
You don't need this.
Yeah, we don't need
So what George is talking about is the same thing we just did, but before we did it with harmony and melody, and now we're doing it with rhythm.
Aquí estamos hablando con George, hablaba de lo mismo que hablábamos al inicio, pero en vez de hacerlo con la melodía, aquí lo hacemos con el ritmo.
So in this case, this particular groove, there's actually, we're finding different rhythm spaces for each other.
En este ritmo en particular encontramos diferentes tipos de grupos en diferentes partes, diferentes cambios.
So George is feeling a big 3, which is here.
Right. But the song is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
So let's actually, let's split up everyone, and we'll actually feel it the way that we're feeling in different times. So George is over here. How about this third of you?
Yeah.
You're going like this.
2, 3.
En esta parte vamos a hacer el tiempo de 3.
Nassim is like this. And I'm here. So in all of this music, you can see we can feel it in different ways.
En toda esta música podemos ver que podemos llenarlo de diferentes formas.
And that's what makes the groove come to life.
Y eso es lo que hace al ritmo avivarse.
And when we're playing and improvising, we can switch roles.
Y cuando estamos tocando e improvisando podemos cambiar roles.
And that's what the great improvisers do. They know how to move with each other and contrast each other, but change their roles in different ways.
Y esto es lo que los grandes grupos hacen, lo que pueden lograr intercambiar roles y cambiar los ritmos en diferentes formas.
So one big example in this piece is me and Nassim will change roles.
Una forma de notarlo en esta pieza es cuando yo y Nassim intercambiamos roles.
Sometimes I'm playing the melody and he's playing the accompaniment.
A veces yo toco la melodía y él toca el complemento.
And sometimes he's playing the melody and I'm playing the accompaniment.
Y a veces él toca la melodía y yo toco el complemento.
So when you're improvising or arranging or composing your songs,
Cuando están improvisando o arreglando sus canciones,
you can get clever and have different people in the band play different roles.
puede volverse más asignado y en diferentes personas del grupo a hacer diferentes roles. Una forma de que lo puede notar en una canción es cuando el cantante canta y el guitarrista hace el solo.
That's one basic example of switching roles. The melody is in the voice, and then it goes to the instrument.
Ese es un ejemplo muy simple en el que se puede notar que la voz hace la melodía y luego pasa a otro instrumento.
So here's the example of the melody for this song.
Este es el ejemplo de la melodía para esta canción.
This side is going to be my side, the piano side.
Esta parte va a ser la parte del piano,
And this side is the cello side.
esta parte es el cello.
Raise your hand when you have the melody.
Levanten la mano cuando tengan ya la melodía.
Okay? Here we go. From the top. Nice job. So did you hear how the melody moved between the instruments?
Gran trabajo, así que pudieron ver cómo la melodía se mueve en los diferentes instrumentos.
Do I need it? Am I not loud enough? Oh, okay. Oh, for the streaming. For everyone there on the stream, I apologize.
Para los que están allá en el streaming, me disculpo.
Now you can hear us.
Ahora nos pueden escuchar.
So that's something, those are the kind of things that we're thinking about when we're writing the music, when we're playing together, and when we're composing as well, when we're making our new arrangements of the songs.
Estas son las cosas en las que tenemos que pensar cuando estamos creando música, cuando estamos improvisando y cuando estamos componiendo música.
Yes. Any questions about all of that?
¿Una pregunta sobre esto?
Yes.
To make a new melody, you take the range, the rhythm, and who is taking the groove, right? And what else you take to make new songs or melodies?
Ah, yes. Okay, so you're asking how to improvise a new melody, is that correct? Uh-huh.
Estaba preguntando que cuando crean música, además del ritmo y la melodía, ¿en qué otras cosas piensan?
Why don't you start with Nassim, actually, and how he improvises a new melody?
¿Por qué no empezamos en cómo empezamos improvisando una nueva música?
Are you asking how to use improvisation as a tool for composition?
Si está preguntando si usa la improvisación como una herramienta para componer música.
My process is, I don't know, I think many musicians do the same thing. I put on my recorder on my phone,
En mi proceso es que algo que hacen muchos músicos es que pongo el grabador en mi celular,
and I just start improvising, playing freely.
empiezo a improvisar y a tocar libre.
That's usually the way I start every practice session.
Esta es la forma usual en que empiezo cada sesión de práctica.
So instead of playing a scale like do, do, re, ra, like C major scale, for example,
En lugar de tocar una escala,
I warm up improvising.
hago mis calentamientos improvisando.
And usually the beginning of my practice session is the time I have the most ideas. It's almost like all these ideas have been cooking in my brain.
Usualmente el momento en que inicio mis prácticas es cuando todas estas ideas empiezan a cocinarse en mi cerebro.
For example, one of my pieces called Riwaya,
Una de mis piezas llamadas Riwaya,
I was improvising like this. I'll show you, and then I'll show you what happened after that. So
le voy a mostrar la improvisación.
I was improvising. I listened back to this, and then I started thinking, oh, this kind of nice theme. It has a theme to it. It might be nice to turn this into a piece. So then I started thinking, okay, what's a nice rhythm that will fit this? What groove?
Entonces cuando escuchaba esto de vuelta, me di cuenta que tiene mucha profundidad y que tiene una temática. Entonces pensé, ¿qué ritmo podría agregarle a esto?
And the rhythm I thought of is called Sama'i Thaqil. And George, can you show us please how this goes? Sure. It's in 10/8. Actually, well, we should have had you guess, but yeah, it's too late. Let's count it. Okay, let's count together.
Vamos a
2,
contar todos juntos,
3,
está en 10 octavos.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5,
6,
6,
7,
8,
8,
9, 10. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5. Now,
8,
let's clap on 1. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Clap on 1.
Aplaudimos en 1.
2, 3, 4. Now we're going to clap on 1 and 4.
Aplaudimos en 1 y 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to clap on 6, 7, 8. 1,
Aplaudir en
2,
5, 6,
3,
7.
4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 4,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7, 8.
So after this, I thought about, oh, let's try the melody with this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Very nice. S- So now I see, okay, it fits really nicely with this rhythm. The next thing I had to think about, I'm going to think about a bass line. Before any harmony, just think about a bass line that will fit this. So I wrote a bass line that goes like this.
Así que con esto me doy cuenta
Sorry.
que el ritmo encaja muy bien con la melodía. Entonces voy a buscar una línea de bajo que encaje bastante bien con esta melodía.
So let's add the rhythm, please. Sure. 8, 9, 10.
Let's try to sing it. Let's sing. Bom ba da 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 do da 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 do da 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 do da 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 do da 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 da
Beautiful. So you see how the two melodies are separate melodies. They can function on their own. The bass line is, I consider it a melody, and the main melody is its own melody.
Así que pudieron ver cómo ambas melodías podían funcionar por sus cuentas. La línea de bajo y la melodía, ambas se ven como una melodía.
The next step was to come up with a harmony that works. So with Chase, we worked together on what chord might be nice for this section and that section, and then we came up with a bunch of different choices for chord structures.
En el siguiente paso, después de esto, es ver qué armonía encaja bien con la melodía. Entonces trabajo con Chase para que me ayude en qué acordes tocar en cada parte y así hacer que funcione.
So in this case, the first step was for me. Some people have different process. The melody was first, the bass line second, and then the harmony.
Mi proceso es personal porque cada persona trabaja diferente. Primero trabajo la melodía, luego la línea de bajo y por último la armonía.
So let's show you the final product now. With maybe you can talk about the harmony, the chord, for example, that you thought of for this section.
Mostrar el resultado final de este proceso.
Yeah, so when we're coming up with harmony, there's a million possibilities.
Cuando empezamos con la armonía hay 1,000,000 de posibilidades,
Actually, a lot more than that.
incluso mucho más que eso.
And so when I start trying to find a sound with a melody,
Cuando empiezo a buscar un sonido para la melodía,
I very often just try to find one chord that captures the essence of the song, of the emotion that we're trying to find.
trato de encontrar un acorde que capture la emoción y el sentido de la melodía que estamos tocando.
So, for example, let's try out a few things.
Por ejemplo, vamos a intentar unas cosas.
That's nice.
Not bad, right? Not bad.
No está mal, ¿verdad?
But and it works functionally, right? Okay, I use the same tones as the scale he's using.
Es funcional y tiene los mismos tonos que la escala que está usando.
But to me, it didn't have the richness of what the cello was offering.
Pero para mí no tenía la riqueza de lo que el cello estaba ofreciendo.
And this is something that Danilo talks a lot about as the rhythm of the chords,
Y es algo de lo que Danilo habla mucho, como el ritmo de los acordes.
which he learned from Jack DeJohnette.
From?
Jack DeJohnette.
Que aprendió de Jack Isinek.
the drummer, Jack DeJohnette.
el baterista.
And the idea is that just by adding something a little more dissonant, you create something that has more action to it.
Cuando agregas algo que tiene más disonancia, le das algo de acción a eso.
So for example, less action,
Primera acción,
more action.
menos acción y más acción.
You hear that? Right? One note.
Una nota.
You hear how it has that rub to it. So I put the 4 in the bottom.
Puse la cuarta en el bajo.
That's right, and it rubs against the 5, the flat 5.
Rosa con la quinta.
It creates that beautiful sound. Now play the melody, Nassim.
Y ahora crea un sonido más hermoso.
Do you hear how that?
¿Lo escucharon?
So all the other chords, all the chords in the piece, I wanted to find a way to capture the essence of that first chord.
Entonces, los demás acordes de esta pieza quiero que capturen la esencia del primer acorde.
And that comes from thinking about the intervals inside of the chords, how they relate to each other, and trying to create those same intervals and movement over time.
Y todo eso viene de los intervalos que conforman cada acorde y la forma en que cada intervalo se relaciona.
So we'll play you the full melody now with all of us together.
Y ahora vamos a tocar la melodía completa.
Any questions?
¿Alguna pregunta?
Don't be shy.
No sean tímidos.
Danilo.
Okay, so when you're playing, you guys, were you guys trading, or what was your thought process between the both of you? What was happening in between both of you?
Pregunta en el proceso de cuando practicaban las piezas, ¿cuál fue el proceso en medio de esas dos cosas?
So after we played there was like 3 sections: A section, B section, and the C section.
Cuando estamos tocando, hay 3 secciones, la sección A, B y C.
There was like a piano solo on a drone, just on like a D tonality of D.
Hay una parte de improvisación del piano en la tonalidad de re.
And that was based on the mode of the C section that we were playing right before the improvisation of the piano.
Fue basado en la sección C que tocaron antes de la improvisación del piano.
And that's a very cool mode. I love it. It's called Saba, and it sounds like this.
Un modo bastante cool.
I looked at it. Listen for the second note. It's different tuning that you might not recognize.
La segunda nota tiene una afinación diferente a lo que habrían escuchado.
What do you hear?
¿Qué escucharon?
Anyone knows what that note is? Yes. Flat second. Exactly. It's a flat second, but there's something different about that flat second. I'll play a flat second and then I'll play this note.
Dice una segunda bemol.
This is a regular flat second. This is what I played before. Yes, it is sharper.
Es más alto.
So in Arabic music, we have what we call microtones.
En la música arábica tenemos los microtonos.
We don't use the same tuning system of Western music.
No usamos el mismo sistema de afinación que la música occidental.
So in between a whole step, we have 9 different notes.
En cada tonalidad hay diferentes notas.
So instead of just having between D and E, instead of just having D, E flat, and then E natural,
Y en lugar de tener en medio de re y mi, re, mi bemol y mi natural,
we have 9 notes.
tenemos 9 notas.
And this note is called E half flat, so mi half flat.
Esa nota sería mi medio bemol.
Okay, so this is mi natural.
Mi natural.
Mi natural. This is mi bemol. And this is mi in between. So let's sing it together.
Cantémoslo juntos.
So now we're gonna sing mi natural.
Y ahora vamos a cantar mi natural.
Now mi flat.
Mi bemol.
Now half bemol.
Medio bemol.
Nice. So for kids growing up in the Middle East, even parts of other parts of the world, you know, like in the US, we have certain folk traditions that have microtonal music. Certain Scandinavian countries will have microtones. Certain parts of Asian countries will have that too. It's a very natural part of music.
Desde los niños que están creciendo en países del Medio Oriente, incluso otras partes del mundo como en Escandinavia, tienen microtonos también y esta es una parte muy natural en su vida.
So for a kid growing up in Palestine, these sounds is very normal.
Para un niño que crece en Palestina es un sonido bastante normal.
You hear it as a different note, like it's not E flat, it's not E natural, it's a different note with its own personality.
Lo escuchan como una nota diferente que no es ni mi natural ni mi bemol, y es una nota diferente que tiene su propia personalidad.
And it's a neutral sound. It's not minor or major. It's something else, different feeling.
Es un sonido natural que no es ni bemol ni sostenido, tiene un sentido diferente.
So to go back to answer your question, Chase was improvising on this mode that we just played.
Para responder la pregunta que hiciste, Chase estaba tocando en este modo que estábamos tocando.
And when we recorded this piece, we had special machines that made the piano play the microtones.
Y cuando grabamos esta canción teníamos máquinas especiales que hacían que el piano tocara estos microtonos.
And what's really special about Chase is that he has very sensitive ears and can really find the right chords that will work for these microtones.
Algo especial de Chase es que tiene un oído bastante sensible a los sonidos y entonces podría encontrar los acordes que encajen bien para las melodías y estos microtonos.
And during the solo of Chase, I was holding a drone, but at the same time, since George was really holding down the groove, I was a little bit more free, as we talked before.
En el momento en que hacía el solo, Chase estaba manteniendo la parte base, al igual que la percusión, también estaba manteniendo el ritmo.
Yeah, I think that's what was happening.
And I'll add to that. I don't know if you remember that section, but I was almost only playing just the bass in that particular part.
Si recuerdan, y en esa sesión estaba tocando particularmente el bajo,
to leave space for you to hear the microtones of what Nassim is playing.
para dejarle espacio para que se escucharan los microtonos que estaba tocando Nassim.
And so this is one of the greatest challenges that I ever faced in trying to find a group sound between us stuck with the piano.
Y esto ha sido un reto bastante difícil al momento de encontrar un sonido, al tocar juntos, encontrar un sonido entre ellos.
Because I can't play any microtones.
Porque no puedo tocar microtonos.
So we started developing ways of finding a sound together without that.
Entonces empezamos a desarrollar maneras en las que podíamos tocar sin ese problema.
So one idea, retune the piano,
Una idea es reafinar el piano.
but that's hard. I can't retune this.
Es difícil, no puedo volver a afinar este piano.
Another idea, just leave space. So don't play those notes at all. Let Nassim play them.
Y otra idea es dejar el espacio y dejar que ellos toquen esas notas que no puedo tocar.
Or get inspiration from some of the great piano players who played the blues.
O obtener inspiración de los grandes pianistas que tocan blues.
Because the blues is also microtonal.
Porque incluso el blues tiene microtonos.
For example, the blues exists in between those notes.
El blues existe en medio de esas notas.
You've heard those sounds before, right?
Han escuchado esas canciones, esos sonidos antes, ¿verdad?
And many of the piano players who tried to play the blues, they couldn't play it like the singer or the horn player. They had to find ways of playing those notes, smudging them together like that.
Y la mayoría de los pianistas no pueden tocar esos sonidos, tienen que encontrar la forma de tocar esos sonidos moviéndose en el piano.
Or great piano players like Thelonious Monk, who played chords like this.
O pianistas como Thelonious Monk que tocaba acordes como esto.
So for example, that same mode that we were just talking about, I thought of maybe doing something like this.
Por ejemplo, en el mismo modo que estábamos tocando, podemos hacer algo como esto.
Or this. So we want to show you a song that uses a lot of those ideas.
Entonces les vamos a mostrar una canción que usa muchas de estas ideas.
See if you can hear how we use the microtones. Nassim is playing the microtones and how I kind of imitate some of that sound on the piano.
Vean si pueden escuchar estos microtonos y pueden notar cómo implemento estos microtonos en el piano.
In particular, listen for this melody. Do you hear the microtone?
¿Escucharon el microtono?
Can you sing it? The microphone?
¿Pueden cantarlo?
Or yeah, that's it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So hopefully you heard all the things we've been talking about. The microtones, the leaving space for each other, people playing different roles, different melodies, all these ideas that we've been discussing today.
Con suerte pudieron escuchar todas las cosas de las que discutimos hoy, los microtonos, los roles entre cada uno y el ritmo y las melodías que hacemos.
And you can think of all the crazy things. You can let your imagination go wild. And as long as you keep on listening to each other and give space to each other, it's going to sound great.
Y pueden ver cómo su imaginación la pueden dejar que sea libre con todas las cosas, las herramientas que se les han enseñado, y su mente puede ser bastante alocada con todas las cosas que pueden crear.
Any questions about that?
¿Alguna pregunta?
Okay, keep on thinking if you have any questions.
Sigan pensando si tienen preguntas.
There-
The rhythms, like how maybe the end of this piece has this
Yeah.
dimension.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the rhythms of this piece. That's something we haven't touched upon quite as much, but we can talk a little bit more about that.
Vamos a hablar sobre el ritmo en esta pieza. Es algo que sí hemos tocado, pero no, ahora vamos a hablar con más profundidad.
This song had a lot of different types of grooves in it,
Esta canción tiene diferentes tipos de ritmos en ella,
and it meant that we all had to find different roles inside of the grooves.
significa que esto hay que implementar diferentes roles en medio del ritmo.
So maybe we can start with George. Okay, so we'll start with the main groove of the piece, which is in 9.
Vamos a hablar del ritmo principal que está en 9.
Sure. So, first of all, this is a very difficult piece. It took us all quite a while to learn it, to play it.
Es una canción bastante difícil y tomó bastante para aprenderla.
So yeah, the piece is in a cycle of 5, right? So, so the A section, the beat is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. So it's in a cycle of 9. Can you just say that?
La canción está en un ciclo de 5 y cada sección tiene un ciclo de 9.
However, because the melody of this song is structured in a way that the 9 is subdivided in different ways every bar.
El truco de esta canción es que en cada parte los grupos de 9 están subdivididos en diferentes partes en medio de la canción.
For example, the first part of this piece where chess goes, "Ba-da-bu-dum, ba-di-da-dum, bum," that's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. However, the next bar, can you play those first 2 bars, Chase? And that kind of 1, 2, 3, go. Da, 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 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So what I'm doing here is basically the first bar I'm subdividing in 2, 2, 2, 3, and the second bar 2, 2, 3, 2.
Lo que está haciendo es que en el primer compás está subdividiendo en 2, 2, 2, 3, y en el siguiente compás es 2, 2, 3, 2.
So the other thing, the way I'm orchestrating it, today I don't have my full percussion set, I have only one little piece because we traveled. I like to play something like this.
En la siguiente sección me gustaría tocar algo como esto.
Actually, Chase, can I mention what drums I'm using? I think that would be super nice. So I want to add one thing to this conversation, that is with this trio, I like to bring percussion from the Middle East that I grew up with and mix it with our sound. So I typically don't use a drum set.
En la percusión que uso cuando tocamos en este trío es percusión del Medio Oriente, que me gusta introducirla a este grupo y a la música que creamos en este grupo.
For example, one of the drums I brought with me from Boston is this drum that is called a darbuka. Can anyone here tell me what it reminds you of? Oh, the name is just darbuka. You don't need to translate that. Oh. Okay, can anyone tell me what it reminds you, what drum it reminds you of?
Okay. Este tambor que se le llama darbuka lo trajo de Boston y pueden imaginar pensar en qué tambor les recuerda.
Exactly. This is actually an ancient drum, right? And it existed in different cultures. Like in Africa, they have the djembe that they play between their feet, like this. But in the Middle East, we use this drum lap style, like this. So that's the only difference, really.
Este tambor tiene mucha similitud con el djembe que se toca en África entre las piernas, pero la única diferencia es que se toca de lado en el Medio Oriente.
And the other drum I have with me today is an Arabic tambourine, and this is something that these days in the Middle East they use throughout the regions. And what it is really is a drum with zils. Zils are cymbals.
El otro instrumento que utilizamos es una pandereta arábica que se ha mantenido durante los tiempos en las diferentes regiones, que en sí tiene un tambor y los platillos.
And to go back to Chase's question that showing how I'm orchestrating the A section, it's basically set in 9 and I'm using different subdivisions. So I'll play it with Chase and I'll count it. I'll try and count it on the microphone. Can we play the A section, Chase? I'll play with one hand. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you see, I'm using different subdivisions every bar. I try basically rhythmically not to get stuck in my head with a specific type of 9, but follow the melody, like follow the harmonic rhythm and the melody that Chase composed, right? Does that make sense?
Intento hacer diferentes subdivisiones en los grupos de 9, pero no estancarme tanto en contar, sino que seguir lo que está haciendo Shay, lo que está haciendo Nassim, siguiendo los ritmos armónicos y la melodía que ellos están tocando.
So let us show you the very ending. We didn't play the whole piece for you because it's too long, but let us show you the ending and how we had fun playing around with the 9.
Y ahora les vamos a mostrar el final. Vamos a hacer toda la canción, pero antes quiero que escuchen el final y cómo arreglamos todo esto en tiempo de 9.
So for example, you can feel 4 or you can feel 3 on top of it, the 9.
Por ejemplo, pueden sentir en 4 o 3 encima de 9.
So let's start with 4.
Vamos a empezar con 4.
Everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Try that now. 1, Play that one, George. Okay. Woo, that one's hard. That one's hard, right? So let's just play 3 now. 1, like that.
Ahora vamos a tocar 3.
Okay, so listen how we play both of those at the same time. And then we add the third thing.
Así es como tocamos ambas al mismo tiempo y ahora vamos a agregar la tercera.
George plays in a completely different way.
George toca en una forma totalmente distinta.
At the very end, we're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Can we go? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. George is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, so we'll play you the ending of the piece and listen for all of those happening at the same time.
Let's go.
Vamos a tocar el final de la pieza y quiero que escuchen todas las cosas que hicimos.
So who's heard of the word counterpoint?
¿Quién ha escuchado la palabra contrapunto?
See? Yeah, raise your hand. Yeah. So counterpoint, two melodies happening at the same time, right?
Contrapunto son dos melodías sonando al mismo tiempo,
So that's like rhythm counterpoint.
como un contrapunto rítmico.
And it exists everywhere if you listen for it. That's a really complicated version of it. But even every single song, there's at least some form of rhythmic counterpoint going on.
Es algo que existe y que se escucha en diferentes canciones. Esta es una forma bastante difícil de contrapunto rítmico, pero es algo que se puede escuchar en diferentes canciones.
So when you're in your own bands, when you're listening to music, listen for your part and how you can play a contrasting counterpoint, rhythm, harmony, and melody in relationship to the other people.
Cuando están en sus bandas, escuchen cuando están tocando qué pueden hacer con sus partes para hacer una contraparte con las melodías, el ritmo y la armonía de cada uno.
And that's what makes music like life, because sometimes we're in different places, we're feeling different things, we're having a little bit of conflict, but at the end, we all came together.
Por eso es que la música es como la vida, que a veces hay muchos cambios, hay muchos conflictos, pero al final las cosas se reúnen.
And that's the beautiful thing about music, which is we can eventually end up together, even if we come from all different places in the world, different places in life, and connect together.
Y eso es lo bonito de la música, que nos hace unirnos, aunque vengamos de diferentes lugares del mundo, con diferentes tipos de música, pero podemos unirnos y hacer algo todos juntos.
So when we talk about all these different specifics with the music, we talked about a lot of different orchestration ideas today.
Hablamos de muchas cosas diferentes tipos de orquestación en la música.
Don't forget that all of that is to serve the mission of the music, which is to represent us, life, humanity.
Recuerden que estas cosas son aquellas que nos representan y representan la música de donde nosotros estamos.
And that's why we do what we do.
Y es por eso que hacemos lo que hacemos.
Gracias, thank you. George Lernis, Nassim Al-Atrash, Chase Morrin, thank you. Gracias, gracias.
La música está de fiesta. Celebremos los 20 años del Panama Jazz Festival con la participación estelar de Chucho Valdés, Catherine Russell, Danilo Pérez, John Patitucci y Brian Blade, Erika Ender y el ensamble Global Jazz Womex. Clínicas, conciertos, el 11º Simposio de Musicoterapia, la noche de gala y el gran cierre con Gilberto Santa Rosa del 16 al 21 de enero en Ciudad de Panamá. Boletos de venta en panamajazzfestival.com a beneficio de la Fundación Danilo Pérez. Produce, patrocinan, invitan.